Hello friends, welcome to my channel. In this video, we will solve some of the leading questions of CSWIP 3.1 exam. These questions are as per the latest syllabus of CSWIP 3.1. So before starting this question answer series, let me clarify some of your doubts which many viewers are asking, like whether my old videos on CSWIP are still relevant for the new exam or not. So friends, let me tell you that CSWIP syllabus is absolutely same. CSWIP has not changed its syllabus. Rather than CSWIP has changed the exam pattern only. So the exam pattern has been changed, not the theory syllabus. And in addition to that, they have done some changes in practical exam. Along with that, they have introduced WPS PQR and WPQ review questions. So basically, most of the syllabus are same, only exam pattern has been changed. Hence, my old videos are still relevant. It is not only relevant, but my old videos are much more fruitful because nowadays CCP is asking very tricky questions. Hence, you need to have complete hold on the concepts. If you are fundamentally clear, if your fundamentals are very clear, then only you will be able to answer the leading questions. Leading questions are like very tricky questions, and hence your fundamentals should be clear. And in my videos, CC like chapter wise video lecture series, I have tried to clear the basic concepts. Hence, my videos are very relevant and it is much more fruitful than the previous exams. You can watch all my chapter wise videos to clear your doubts, to give strength on your fundamental concepts. So let us start. Our first question is, which of the following elements is added to steel to give resistance to creep at elevated service temperature? So creep at elevated service temperature. In my CSWIP 3.1 video lecture series, I have explained the concept of creep and the mechanism of creep. Hence, I'm not going to explain that further, but for the timing, let us understand that creep is something like slow deformation of a material. Like suppose if a material is subjected to external loading for a longer period of time, then that material will deform over a very long period of time. So it's a kind of deformation on a longer period of time, and the loading can be physical load, or it can be some stress on that material. So stress or load for a longer period of time will deform the material in the long run. That is creep. And the material which can be added to improve the creep properties, molybdenum. So moly is added in material to improve its creep properties. Now question 1a, with reference to the previous question, what is the creep? See, creep is nothing but it's a form of deformation. So it's a form of deformation. And what kind of deformation? Deformation over a longer period of time. Means if a load will be subjected on a material for a longer period of time, that deformation will happen. So here the explanation is there. If you want, you can pause the video and read the explanation too. Now before moving forward, I would request you to please join my channel. Joining is very easy and very convenient. Anybody can join. After subscribing my channel, you'll see the join icon, and by paying a very small amount, you can become a member of my channel, and you can help me financially, and you can encourage my initiative too. So it's a kind of a small contribution which will help me. Now question number 2, compound fillet weld. So basically, what is a compound fillet weld? Friends, compound fillet weld are nothing but it's a combination of butt and fillet weld. Like here in the example, you can see in the first picture, this is a T-joint. So the vertical plate is there, and in the vertical plate, a groove has been made. So a groove from one side it has been made, and the blue color is the welding. So what has happened? The groove has been filled by weld. So this is the groove weld, and then this is the fillet weld. So combination of groove and fillet weld will be compound weld. In the second picture also you can see this much is the groove weld, and the external part, this one is the fillet weld. So this is a compound weld. In the third picture also you can see one fillet weld this side and one groove weld in the vertical plate, and then fillet weld. So this is a type of combination of fillet as well as groove weld, or you can say butt weld. So this is a compound fillet weld. Now, if you have, you know, if you know the concept, then only you will be able to answer this question, because see, all the answers are very, it has written in such a way that if your fundamentals are not clear, then you will get confused, and somebody will, tick like option D. Someone can tick option D, someone can tick option A, or someone can tick option B also. But the correct answer is combinations between two different weld types. And what type of weld type? That is butt or fillet, or groove or fillet. So the correct answer is C, combination between two different weld type. Now, if we will talk about the option A, see, in option A they have written always contain full penetration butt weld. This is not true. This is not true, because it can be full penetration, it can be partial penetration, or end of fillet weld. So this is not truly correct. Now option B, if you see option B, many of you will be confused, because they have written like joints which always have combination of welds. See, combination of weld, till this line it is true, but from reading forward, made by different welding process. This is not true, because welding process is not in the scene. Scene is only combination of weld. Hence, this option B is also not correct. Now, option C is the correct one. I have explained. Now, let us move further. Question number 2A. With reference to the previous question and the correct answer, what would be the typical bevel angle for a compound fillet weld? So, for a compound fillet weld, the bevel is asking the groove angle or the bevel angle. So, this is nothing but 35 degrees. This is an in standard fillet angle, groove angle. Now here explanation is there. You can, if you want, you can pause the video and read the explanations. Here explanations I've written. Moving forward, let me request you once again that please join my channel. Now, question number 3. STRA is used to measure the. See, STRA is a test, and I've explained this test about this test in my CC 3.1 video lecture series. So, STRA test is basically used for through thickness, to check through thickness ductility of steel plate. Like, see here, for example, this is a steel plate. Through thickness means the entire thickness of the plate, that is the z direction. So to check the through thickness, this STRA test is conducted. Here the full form of STRA test is short transverse reduction of area. I have explained about these tests in my CC 3.1 video lecture series. If you want to understand in deep, you can go and learn. Now, question number 3A. With difference to the previous question and the correct answer, why is this test carried out? Why through thickness test, STRA test is carried out? So, this is carried out because of to access susceptibility to lamellar tearing. So lamellar tearing is a kind of defect in material, and I've explained about these mechanisms in my CC 3.1 video lecture series. But for the timing, let us understand that to detect the susceptibility of lamellar tearing, we used to do STRA test. Now, question number 4. What could cause brittle fracture? So, brittle fracture can be caused whenever the material is, subjected to sub-zero conditions. Mean if a material has been, whenever the material has been subjected at a lower temperature, less than zero temperature, that is sub-zero temperature, the brittle fracture can happen. Hence, option B is the correct answer. And with reference to the previous question, what type of test could predict this type of failure? So brittle fracture can be predicted, or it can be assessed by Charpy impact test. It is called as Charpy test. It is also called as toughness test or Charpy impact test. So what happens during Charpy test? The material is subjected to an impact loading at sub-zero temperature, sub-zero degree temperature, and from there we will be able to judge about the toughness, or we can measure the toughness of that material. So with that, this can be predicted. Brittle fracture can be predicted. So friends, before concluding this video, once again I would request you to please join my channel. And friends, we have come to an end of our today's video. Please give your valuable feedback and comments and suggestions to improve the video lectures. Thank you very much.